Welcome to the Stairway to Heaven. We're coming to you bringing insights into the ever-changing high-frequency currents now bathing the planet and their effect on us all. The source of vital information for the evolving human being, Angwildawieka. Synchronicity, entering the flow of life. All aspects of life work together in perfect flow. Any change in one aspect results in a corresponding counterbalancing change in all the other elements. Balance and counterbalance have been in effect since the dawning of time. This is true across the board, with one major exception: humans. At some point, humans decided not to cooperate with the way life works. Instead, we've endeavored to control it. This approach appeared to work during slower-moving times, but now, as frequency rises and time accelerates, all our controlling constructs are failing. Life is in constant flux and change. While we've been locked down trying to control our environment, life has moved on without us. For instance, let's look at Florida. Homes and cities were built as if nothing would ever change. Then, rather than relocate when flooding became an issue, dikes and huge pumping systems were built to keep the water at bay. Soon, entire communities depended upon man-made dikes to prevent them from going underwater. Now, with normal wear and tear, combined with design flaws and shifting environmental factors, some of these dikes are proving inadequate or unreliable. Combined with global warming and melting ice caps resulting in rising seas, the entire state could be dancing on the brink of disaster. This is just one situation among many that are cropping up faster than we can deal with them as we're confronted with unprecedented change. We used to be able to rely on seasons, weather, water supplies, and everything else remaining within certain parameters. Even social change and technological advancements were somewhat predictable. Now everything is up for grabs, and we can no longer predict and prepare for the future based on the norms of the past. We are, in effect, totally in the dark, with no guidance. Or are we? If all aspects of life work together in perfect flow, it may behoove us to find and re-enter that flow to find safe passage. To do so, one of the first things to bring online is situational awareness. Not only is the flow of life all around us, but it leaves clear evidence of its functioning and the direction through synchronicity. Synchronicity is a concept first introduced by analytical psychologist Carl G. Jung to describe circumstances that appear meaningfully related, yet lack apparent causal connection. Synchronicity, often referred to as coincidence, can provide clear evidence as to the working of the flow of life and our relationship to it. It's unclear if synchronicities are events or our perception of events, but they can be formed by one's strong and clear intent as it moves into the world. Synchronicities create omens that, when properly interpreted, give us inside information as to the flow of life. Following the messages of synchronicity effectively puts us in the flow that will lead through a maze of probabilities to the timeline and set of circumstances which serves our intent. We've all had one of those days where everything seems to go right. For example, I may be out shopping when I pull into the parking lot of a store. Someone's leaving right in front of me, providing the perfect parking space. The things I need are not only there in abundance, but on sale. The lines are full at checkout, but just as I walk up, they open a new register that I walk right into, and so on. On those kind of days, I'm neither rushing nor dragging my feet. It feels more like a beautifully choreographed dance with the flow of life. Like a ballerina moving to the music, leaping into the air, with full faith and trust her partner will be there to catch her as they're dancing to the same melody. One of the things that aligns us with flow is the awareness of it. If I'm having one of those wonderful days, I don't second guess it. I simply take what I need from the shelf and keep moving, rather than wondering why it's on sale, if there's something wrong with it, or if there's a better choice. I remember that I've set my intention to find that very thing, and therefore it's there. I receive it with gratitude and move on. I use situational awareness to recognize a synchronicity my intent has manifested, am grateful for it, and take advantage of it. During the time I might spend second-guessing myself, disregarding the synchronicity, distrusting what I've been given, I pause, step out of the present moment, leave the flow, and miss out on the opening of an additional checkout line. Ancient humans were very proficient in recognizing and using synchronicity. To this day, indigenous practices use the omens and synchronicities provided to read what's happening in the flow of life and cooperate with it. The Australian Aboriginals used to rise each morning giving thanks for the necessities that would be provided for the tribe each day on their trek across the outback. Come lunchtime, the snake slithering across their path was recognized as a provision from the spirit of the land for their next meal, promptly dispatched and eaten. Another practice of the Aboriginals and many other indigenous peoples was dreaming or singing the story of the future they wished to create. This practice served to help set strong group intent, creating the timeline in the flow of life, leading to the desired outcome. Through situational awareness, they would then read the omenology of the synchronicities present and respond accordingly. It takes an amazing amount of trust to set out across a barren wasteland with only what you can carry on your back. Yet, through trust, faith, situational awareness, and gratitude, the Aboriginal people have survived for ages on land that would take most of us out in a few days. Reading and interpreting synchronicities is a learned skill. If we understand everything has meaning and alludes to the flow of life, we can use these messages to find safe passage. For instance, once on my morning's walk, I noticed a pair of ravens sitting in a tree. The first thing I did was to take note of what was going through my mind just before the sighting. In this case, I was wondering if I should drive to visit my daughter alone or ask my son to join me. Then I noticed everything I could about how the omen presented. The tree was in the east. The ravens were sitting side by side on the same branch, cawing at me. When I got home, I took out my journal and documented what I was thinking about the time and observed. I looked up raven in a book on animal totems and found it meant strong messages about things not seen. There were 2 ravens cawing. They were in the east, in the place of sunrise and new beginnings, sitting side by side. Referencing this back to what I was thinking at the time, I saw it as a clear and urgent message to not start off on my trip alone, that taking my son would be a better choice. As it turned out, we got a flat tire that my son was able to change and had a lovely family visit, much richer than it would have been without him. For more information on omens, see Stairway to Heaven episode number 32, Signs, Omens, Synchronicities, and Divination. The key to manifestation is conscious, clear intent combined with situational awareness, trust, and gratitude. Clear intent is limited by our lack of self-awareness. When we're not processed and self-aware, most of our intent is unconscious, fear-based, and therefore we unconsciously manifest the path to our fear rather than our desires. Situational awareness is only available in the present moment. Most of us live our lives focused on the way it used to be, longing for the good old days or regretting how we lived them, combined with fear of or plans for the future. To access synchronicity, we must be present to witness it. Entering and taking advantage of the flow requires situational awareness combined with trust in the way life works. Unprocessed trauma compromises our trust and induces fear, taking us out of the present. Gratitude is a huge topic, deserving an episode all its own, but for our purposes here, in the lack of gratitude, we can neither recognize nor receive the gifts being brought to us by the flow. Taking time each morning or evening, preferably both, to list and give gratitude for all your blessings opens your mind to recognize them as they come your way. It opens your heart to receive them. In addition, it helps build trust in the way life works by recognizing all the ways we are truly supported. The only way to live a blessed life is to recognize and be grateful for the blessings. Without gratitude, we're never satisfied or fulfilled, leaving us easy marks for a system that would convince us we're always in lack and must feed the system to get what we want or need. The flow is a present time phenomenon. Otherwise, we're remembering a flow that's no longer there or hoping for one that doesn't yet exist. To join the flow, we must be present with it. Otherwise, it's like trying to hop on yesterday's train. Not going to happen, right? Flow is vast and limitless. Where we end up in relationship to it is driven by our conscious and unconscious intent. Bearing this in mind, it becomes clear why becoming more conscious is paramount in manifesting what we want. It's also important to think out of the box and expect the unexpected. If we trust and have faith in the way life works, we can watch for seemingly obscure provisions that fulfill our intent. Being willing to let go of how our intent is met and trust it will be is a very important component in cooperating with the flow. Once humans separated from nature and no longer trusted in the way life works, it became fear-based and left the present moment. With it, we left the flow of life. Without access to the flow, they couldn't manifest through intent and had to make it happen. To make it happen, they had to control it. Entire systems were constructed to control every aspect of life. One of those aforementioned systems is designed to control beliefs to direct the intent of the masses. Media and advertising are one of its most powerful tools. By controlling the beliefs and therefore the intent of the masses, this system can use the natural human ability of manifestation through intent to create for the system rather than for the best interest of the people involved. Welcome to the modern world. We have inadvertently created our systems that enslave and exploit us. Rather than manifest for ourselves, we've become beholden to the systems to provide in exchange for our life's blood. Get a job, earn money, take out loans, pay your taxes, climb the corporate ladder, scrambling over the backs of your coworkers, work 9 to 5 for most of your life, and maybe, just maybe, you can eke out a modest living, only to be tricked out of your hard-earned and often ill-gotten money by the promptings to buy things you have been programmed to want. The walk out of these systems is not an instantaneous thing. We still need to eat, and the likelihood of a snake slithering across our path on the city street at noon is fairly remote. Things have changed drastically. Living in the flow of the present or the future will probably be vastly different from that of our ancestors. Yet, if we make the effort to become conscious and processed, learn to trust life, work with focused intent, situational awareness, and synchronicity, giving gratitude for what we receive, we can re-enter the flow and chart a path out of the matrix of the manipulative systems. After all, the systems simply cannot exist without us feeding them. Imagine, if you will, what would happen if suddenly we all just quit playing the game. Thank you for joining me, Gwilda Wiyaka, on the Stairway to Heaven, where we provide updates on the energetic currents facilitating our evolution into conscious, powerful co-creators. As I'm sure you've noticed, not only do the Stairway to Heaven episodes stand alone, but they weave together to form a map to evolution and personal empowerment as we enter the new era. To revisit this or any of the past archived episodes, visit our archives at www.stairwaytoheavenmedia.com. If you'd like to find out more about me, my school, and the evolutionary tools we offer, visit www.findyourpathhome.com. Until next time, may you be blessed on your sacred path to wholeness. We are here. The time is now.